Back in 1948, a young man named Harry Snyder arrived in the bustling streets of Seattle, carrying nothing but a bag of dreams and aspirations. He was working a series of odd jobs just to make ends meet, until a big idea finally struck him. After sharing his business idea with some of his friends, he was laughed at, discouraged, and neglected. Eventually, Harry Snyder would go on to create one of the biggest drive-thru hamburger restaurants in history. This is the story of how In-N-Out Burger started from an ordinary spark of inspiration to a sizzling billion-dollar reality. In 1913, Harry Snyder was born in Vancouver, British Columbia. On the sunny shores of Santa Monica, young Harry was exposed to a tough upbringing, taking on odd jobs with a serious determination to support his family. While academics might not have been an option for him, Harry was no stranger to hard work. During his World War II service, a perforated eardrum led him to take desk jobs, but that didn't bring down his spirit. After the war ended in 1945, he entered the catering industry at Fort Lawton in Seattle, eager to establish a name for himself. At 34, he met his wife, Esther, who was working as a manager of a restaurant in Fort Lawton. In a whirlwind of love, they tied the knot in 1948, and with dreams in their hearts, they set off for the enchanting city of Los Angeles to start a new chapter and venture into the culinary industry. Their new home was in the bustling Baldwin Park, a place teeming with growth and opportunities. Back in his days at Fort Lawton, Harry's keen eyes had spotted a rising trend: the popularity of boxed lunches. In the vibrant streets of LA, he witnessed the growing desire for independence and pleasure, with cars becoming an integral part of California life. While having these revelations, Harry couldn't help but notice that Baldwin Park, sitting on a busy route between LA and Palm Springs, lacked eateries. It seemed like the perfect spot for a hamburger stand, and so they decided to make their mark. With a dash of practicality, they chose the name In-N-Out, symbolizing the convenience of car culture. And with a stroke of luck, local businessman Charles Nodden offered $5,000 as startup capital. In October 1948, the first In-N-Out store opened its doors on Garvey Avenue, right across from the cozy home Harry shared with Esther. Fueling his vision, Harry brought innovation to the table. He designed a revolutionary two-way radio ordering system, allowing customers to grab a quick meal without ever leaving the comfort of their cars. This spark ignited a fast food revolution. The Snyder's blend of street and academic minds contributed to a straightforward yet outstanding experience. Customers waiting in lines around the block became their daily routine. However, Harry never imagined that there would be an In-N-Out on every corner. He wanted to build a strong company that he could pass on to his sons. Fast forward to 1951, In-N-Out launched another restaurant in nearby Covina. In the 1950s and 1960s, In-N-Out expanded, providing comfort to customers. Harry made a mid-1960s investment in the now-defunct drag track Irwindale Raceway and hired In-N-Out to host events. After tasting their first In-N-Out burger at the track in the Los Angeles area, tourists from other parts of the country spread positive reviews widely. Eventually, the restaurant was no longer a West Coast secret, and calls to franchise increased. Up until the 1970s, the business remained an extremely small Southern California chain. To guarantee that quality was maintained, the Snyders carefully oversaw their first restaurants. In 1976, Harry had become a multimillionaire, but unfortunately, fate had other plans. He developed lung cancer, which finally took his life. By the time he passed away, the business had 18 locations. And even though this seemed like huge progress, In-N-Out Burger was only getting started. The story of In-N-Out Burger is mixed with a series of unfortunate events. After Harry Snyder passed away in 1976, Rich Snyder took over the business at age 24. Rich had started working in his father's In-N-Outs at a young age, along with his brother Guy. Under Rich's direction, the network grew quickly over the following 20 years, reaching 93 outlets. Rich expanded In-N-Out more quickly with the help of business advisors and his mother's support, who continued to work in that capacity. He developed 2 new concepts so that the business might expand while still upholding its basic values. The first was an educational establishment called In-N-Out University, which debuted in 1984. Rich learned managerial techniques at school during the early years of his life. He started videotaping the workers, and they would watch the films to talk about their performance. The second was a toll-free customer service line operated by people who had previously worked at In-N-Out hamburger chains. The In-N-Out Burger Foundation was created as a result of the company's sponsorship of initiatives to assist abused and neglected children. However, Rich didn't stop there. In June 1988, In-N-Out debuted its 50th restaurant in Thousand Palms, California. In 1990, the 57th facility in the chain and the first outside the Los Angeles metropolitan region was established in San Diego County. In 1992, In-N-Out established its first location outside of California in Las Vegas. But tragedy struck the following year. On December 15, 1993, right after Rich opened his 93rd store, their plane crashed with wake turbulence. Following his death, Guy Snyder took over as president in 1993 and continued the company's ambitious expansion. On November 10, 1994, the 100th In-N-Out restaurant opened its doors in Gilroy, California. He showed an aptitude for upgrading quality controls until he overdosed on drugs and passed away in 1999. During his 6 years as president, In-N-Out grew from 93 to 140 outlets right before his mother, Esther Snyder, became president. In 2000, the business started opening restaurants in Arizona and later launched more eateries in Nevada's Reno, Sparks, and Carson City. In-N-Out saw tremendous success in these new areas. The 200th In-N-Out restaurant opened its doors in Temecula, California at the end of December 2005. Both the number of burgers sold in a day and the number sold in a week surpassed records at the store launch. In 2006, Esther Snyder passed away on August 4th at the age of 86, leaving behind a legacy of kindness and leadership. Esther served her country as a surgical nurse in the Women Accepted for Voluntary Emergency Service program in the years prior to her 1948 wedding to Harry Snyder. Her contribution to the founding of In-N-Out, while also being an incredibly devoted mother, included everything from hand-forming the first meat patties and slicing the first potatoes to maintaining the books and eventually leading the company as president. By 2008, In-N-Out Burger already had 223 locations throughout 4 states: California, Nevada, Arizona, and a brand new location in southern Utah. By the end of 2009, the business had opened 3 new shops in Draper, American Fork, and Orem, extending its reach into northern Utah. Then in 2010, Harry Snyder's granddaughter, Lindsay Snyder, inherited In-N-Out Burger after her father, Guy Snyder, passed away in 1999. Lindsay Snyder's leadership saw the company expand its footprint beyond its original California base. In the spring of 2010, Lindsay opened new locations in West Valley City and Riverton in Utah. To serve restaurants in the mountain region, they decided to construct a distribution facility in Las Vegas in 2013. In December 2013, the drive-thru hamburger company unveiled its first location in Austin. According to the vice president, Carl Van Fleet, these new locations in Texas promoted the construction of a new patty production facility and distribution facility in the state. So in March 2014, Lindsay decided to construct a branch in San Antonio. This marked a significant expansion for the iconic fast food chain, which had been primarily concentrated on the west coast of the United States. The announcement of the new location in San Antonio created a buzz among burger fans of In-N-Out across the country. However, Lindsay's ambition increased, so he decided to expand the company's presence to new regions. In January 2015, they launched their 300th location, which was in Anaheim, California. Fortunately, nearly 18,000 people were employed by the companies throughout California, Nevada, Utah, Texas, and Arizona, boasting an annual revenue of $558 million. Following this advancement, the first In-N-Out in Oregon opened in Medford. On September 9, 2015, In-N-Out Burger was launched in Oregon with the opening of its first location in Medford. As with all In-N-Out Burger sites, the Medford restaurant adhered to the company's commitment to quality and consistency. In 2018, for the 3rd consecutive year, In-N-Out was named the top customer choice for a limited service restaurant by Nation's Restaurant News. And in the same year, In-N-Out and Hot Rod Magazine jointly commemorate their 70th anniversaries at the Auto Club Raceway in Pomona. Both organizations have deep roots in California's automotive culture since they were the state's first drive-thru restaurant. A car display, live music, a vintage drag race, In-N-Out cookout trucks, and other festivities were held on November 17th. In-N-Out's history has always been strongly influenced by the close bond with automotive fans. Before its expansion into Colorado, which was expected to be finished in 2021, the company announced its intentions to start a production plant and a distribution center in Colorado Springs. On November 20th, 2020, Colorado Springs and Aurora welcomed their first customers. The two facilities in Colorado were designated as outbreak sites on December 17, 2020, after 80 employees tested positive for COVID-19. In 2020, Colorado residents had two reasons to celebrate, as the state's first two In-N-Out restaurants opened simultaneously in Colorado Springs and Aurora. In Colorado Springs, a brand new warehouse and patty-making facility are also being built as a result of strict dedication to quality and freshness. This makes it possible for these brand new eateries and many that will come after them to promise the highest quality, freshest cuisine. Today, with a value of over $3 billion, In-N-Out Burger has become an edible gem in the world of food wonders. But Harry Snyder's philosophy was central to the company's success. He famously said, "Keep it real simple. Do one thing and do it the best you can." As the story of In-N-Out Burger continues to unfold, it has left a mark on the fast food landscape. With every juicy bite of their iconic double-double and every sip of their old-fashioned shakes, the legacy of In-N-Out Burger will continue to live on and on and on. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. Here is another interesting business story that you might like.